Well, folks, today we are going to talk about structuring IELTS essay, and particularly, I will talk about writing the very first paragraph. But first and foremost, what you need to understand, and which I'm sure you know kind of, that you need to break or divide your essay into different four paragraphs or four parts, right? First is introductory and the last is conclusion. Introductory and conclusion, they are same when it comes to length, that is 50 to 60 words each, both first and the last paragraph, right? And the main body part, which consists of two different paragraphs, body 1, body 2. Each body part, each body paragraph should have at least 90 words. Why is that? Because ultimately you need to write it in 280 words, right? So even if you meet this minimum number of words given here, which is quite easy to meet, that we'll talk about part wise, it gets you like 280 words. So 50 first and 50 last. 100 words, 90 body 1 and 90 body 2. 90 90, that gets you 180, and 50 50, 100. So in total that gets you 280 words, and that's what the required number is. So even if you meet the minimum number of words mentioned here, you will ensure end of the day that no, you have met the number of words. So it's not going to fall short of words at all. Now, without any further ado, let's go and talk about writing opinion essay. Though, for an example, I have taken this opinion essays, though the steps or the tips that I'm going to share, that will work for every type of essay, I mean irrespective of essay types, except this very thing that I'll explain in a moment. Now, when you write the introductory paragraph, first thing first, in irrespective of essay type, what do, you paraphrase. I hope you know paraphrase. For example, when you say, I like pop music, you could say, pop music is my thing, or I enjoy pop music, or I'm really into pop music. I listen to pop music very often. So I like, that's my thing. I'm fond of this. It's one of the same thing, right? So you say the same thing in different words. I hope you understand what that is. In case no, then I think I just explained it a bit quickly. Anyway, let's get here. So the question statement says, some people believe that online education will replace traditional education. So if you look at this, the topic is this simple, that online education, sorry, will replace traditional education. That's the topic. So whether you agree or disagree, that's again in the future, right? That online education will replace traditional education in the future. Do you agree or disagree? That's the question. Do you agree or disagree? So mostly what happens, uh, candidates write, yeah, I agree with the statement, I don't agree with the statement. Now see, there is nothing wrong in writing that, but that's way too kiddish to write. That of course will not get you even 7 band score. That shows a poor vocabulary. At the same time, school kids like writing. It's not like, okay, college kid, or let's say professional things, professional sentences or words, vocabulary, or even this, the kind of sentence that you have chosen. We'll talk about that now. Let's talk about here. So it says, with advancement in technology, that's just an additional phrase that I have used here. Of course, that's not the part of paraphrasing. I mean, it's not given in the question statements. Now, just this online education, I have used the same, but what I have done is I have introduced a clause here that online education has become increasingly popular. If you see, it's not mentioned here. It's asking if online education will replace traditional education. So I have just like, introduced this clause in the name of online education, that online education has become increasingly popular, while some argue that it will fully replace traditional classrooms. Now, if you see this traditional education, I have replaced it to traditional classrooms. So I'm saying the same thing, a bit of with a bit of addition, which is again optional, but that does showcase your vocab and others, like, a better writing or crafting skill. And then I've changed this word, but more importantly, what I have done is I have changed this entirely. I've introduced this clause. So now if you read this and this, you would see the clear difference. So though I'm saying the same thing, what I have done is I have paraphrased it. That's what paraphrasing is. Now, after paraphrasing in the first paragraph, what you have to do is this. You need to write your thesis. That is your opinion piece, right? You have to state your opinion very clearly. Now, if you read the opinion piece here that I have written, see, I'm firmly convinced that both learning modes will coexist. Now, the question is asking if online education will replace traditional education. I'm not saying that I agree, even indirectly, right, that online education will replace or will not replace. I have a third opinion piece. I think both will coexist. So, even if the question statement or the question is, do you agree or disagree? It's not simply that you have to say, yes, I agree with this statement, or I don't agree. Yes, I'm firmly convinced that it will replace, or I'm convinced that it will not replace. No, if you have a third opinion piece, you could easily make that, and you should make it, because ultimately it's you who is going to have to make it coherent. Now, what you need to understand the next point, which is the outline sentences. Outline sentence is all about what you are going to write in this essay. That's what you have to state very clearly. Now, that has to align with your key like statement, which is your opinion statement. Now, since I'm saying that both modes will coexist, I have to establish that throughout my essay. I have to, make it coherent. I have to focus on the same. Now, if you look at the outline, I'm saying that I will write, which of course I'm not using that word I here. This is like this essay will discuss the advantages of online education while highlighting the irreplaceable benefits of face-to-face learning. Now, if you see again that face-to-face learning is the paraphrased form or paraphrased way of traditional classroom, which initially was traditional education. So I paraphrased it to traditional classroom and then face to face. Even online education, I could have made online classroom or virtual classrooms. That's like, completely fine. I think that's a better option, by the way. I should have done that right again. Okay, so what you need to see, since I'm saying I'm firmly convinced that both modes will continue to coexist, I'm writing here the advantages of online education and highlighting irreplaceable benefits of face-to-face learning, which are traditional classrooms. So traditional classrooms have some benefits, some positive sides that cannot be replaced, even like if we go, I mean, no matter how advanced we could get. For example, when it comes to doing practical stuff, we cannot do online, can we? Of course not, right? So that's what I have mentioned here. So my essay will talk about two things: advantages of online classroom, virtual classrooms, and irreplaceable benefits of traditional classrooms, that is face-to-face learning. So this is how I'm going to ensure that my essay will remain coherent throughout. Now, for anyone, if you are really willing to score 7 or 7 plus, you need to ensure that you have written this outline sentence, which is completely coherent and 100% aligned with your opinion statement or key statement. In opinion essay, we are calling it opinion statement or thesis statement. In other essay, we will just call it key statement. Paraphrase, then we have key statement, and then we have outline sentence. So three sentences will easily get you somewhere 50, 60 words. I don't know if that's 50 words, but yeah, that should be around that many words. So that is about first paragraph.